coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. As election dates draw near, instances of political violence in Nagaland have been reported from several places. From an attack on the supporters of NDPP candidate Tongpang Ozukum today, wherein several rounds were fired, to the abduction and subsequent death of a JDU supporter, there have been multiple instances of violence in the run-up to the elections. Add to it the issuance of a diktat to voters allegedly by the NSCN-IM in Alongtaki constituency, from where Nagaland BJP President Temjen Imna Along is contesting elections in Nagaland, has once again had its share of complications. But I want my esteemed panelists to educate me tonight on what issues are the elections in Nagaland being fought. Are political parties still talking about bringing a solution to the protracted Naga issue? They are talking about it, but are people taking such promises seriously? Is development the real issue in Nagaland, or is it corruption, lack of jobs, poor roads, or what? To discuss the issue, I am being joined by Nagaland Tribes Council or NTC leader Therieh and Naga Hoho General Secretary Ndang. Both the gentlemen are joining me from Kohima. Mr. Yanpothung Ezung, Assistant Professor of Sociology at the Bailey Baptist College, is joining me from Wokha. Also on the show is Professor Xavier, Professor NEHU, Northeastern University. He is with me at the studios. Professor Mao is a well-known political commentator. But before we start the discussion, let's Alobo Naga, one of Nagaland's most popular and celebrated singers and composer, who is joining me tonight live from Dimapur. Alobo obviously is a non-political person, but we shall listen to what he thinks about the elections this year and key issues. Alobo, good evening and welcome to Northeast Tonight. Nice to see you.
Hi. Hi, Wasbir. Good to see you too. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. This is election time. What are you observing? What are your thoughts? Have you composed a new song for the elections? What are you doing?
So unfortunately or fortunately, I was away from Nagaland for almost 2-3 months. I was for some project. I just came back to Nagaland 4 days back, but I'm still. I'm keeping in track what is happening in Nagaland, and there's so many good things happening at the same time. Really sad things are happening, and regarding the songs, yes, some political party approached me to do some music, so I did for some, political party also. But as an artist, not just supporter for any political party. Yeah.
Right. You see, what are you observing? I have already said in my introduction that you are a well-known, celebrated singer-composer. You are a non-political person. Yes, you have been commissioned by some political parties to sing campaign songs for them, but that's a different story. You are a professional. But forget about that. As a leading citizen of Nagaland, what is the trend that you are doing? Are you happy with the things going around? Are you happy with what the political leaders are saying?
Yes, this new development that I see this election, that's like we are getting to see new breeds of politician. lately we see only those, the stereotype politicians before, but now we're getting to see very intellectual people coming in the pipeline. Young people are coming, even 26-year-old coming contesting. We see social activists turned into politicians. We see people from NGOs. So it's so good to see different walks of life coming in election, new breed of politician. That's what I would say, candidates. And also we get to see women, candidates.
Yes.
Who are getting tickets from major parties like NDPP, BJP. So it's a fresh news for all of us. And yes, that's the best part about this election.
Alobo, you see, in 2018, that means the last elections, the entire Nagaland was swept with this slogan, no solution, no election. But this time around, there is no such slogan. Now, can you tell me what are the main issues in which these Nagaland elections are fought in 2023? That is the present election. On what issues are these elections fought?
Almost what I see is every party is fighting for development. Every politician, every candidate is like talking about development, which we really need. No doubt, we see some changes in the last, 10 years, but then we are lagging far away from other states. So development is one we are seeing, and then we see political parties claiming that they are fighting for peace. And on the flip side, yes, Nagaland is very peaceful comparing to those days. And solution is I don't see solution now. Maybe they can't fool the public because they've been always using this
Yes.
pointer. Always I think 2-3 elections there always been solution. But I feel the public are very well versed with that, so they can't fool the public anymore. So now it's about development most of the time. Yeah, most of the parties. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why I was posing this question right at the introduction that I gave at the beginning of this show. I was asking that politicians may not be talking to that length this time about bringing a solution. They're not promising that much, but they're still talking about it. My question to you: what do you think? Are people taking this solution promise? Are people taking this solution promise seriously at all?
I don't know about others, but personally, for me, to be honest, like solution was never the first demand initially. We started with the sovereignty, and then we're now compromising to the solution. And for me personally, we're fed up with this, and we we just want some peaceful agreement coming after this election, as the government is promising. We hope to see changes. We hope to see even the central governments sticking to the word and standing with on, the promises that they made. And it's just not a manifesto, but we hope that we can see change for real, after this election.
No. Another thing, Alobo, you have traveled the world, you have traveled the entire country, you have collaborated projects with some of the leading composers in the country and outside. You have seen the whole country, and you have been to several parts of the world. My question is, 75 years after India's independence, and 1963 when Nagaland became a state, governments have come and governments have gone. But the development is absolutely not there. Look at the condition of the roads in Nagaland. Look at the higher education facilities in Nagaland. Look at our youngsters from Nagaland who have to go for a basic higher education to places like Delhi, Bombay, Pune, Chandigarh, and all these places. Now we are not talking about political parties, but everybody, the political class, seems to have failed collectively, isn't it?
Yeah, see, I just want to appeal to the public today. Let's not look at the political party also. Let's look at the capable leaders. We need. That's why I said we need a fresh breed of politician. We need new faces. To be honest, with due respect to all the other politicians, all politicians, they did well. They did what they could. But we need people with new vision. We need young politicians with new dreams, with new vision to take Nagaland, towards that state. With due respect, as I said, all politicians, they've tried their best, they did it, but you know, the generation is changing, and I can say that they're old school, and we need new ideas, we need new vision, new world, somebody with, like, you know, new worldview, and I think they should retire. That's what I want to say.
So Alobo Naga, one of Nagaland's leading singers and composers, wants the old class of politicians to retire and make way for the younger lot. But do you think they're going to give up so easily?
I mean, this power is addictive, I'm sure. So I don't think they would love to give up easily. But then they should be balanced, no doubt. There should be experienced one and the young one. But I believe that, you know, it's high time the older folk, they give the blessing to the younger ones, and then pathway for new Nagaland or new generation.
So do you think, I'll not take much time because I've got a very big, long panelist, very esteemed panelist waiting to enter this discussion. I will leave you. But Alobo Naga, before I let you go, you see, what is your appeal to the youth? Do you think the youth hold the key to change in Nagaland? Do you think the young people in Nagaland hold the key to change in the state?
Yes, why not? We are the majority voters. You know, the young people are the majority when you talk about when you talk at the electoral roll. Now, before we go to that, I want to tell people that we're seeing violence happening. You know, pre-poll clashes happening. I want to appeal to young people, and it's all coming from the young people. Last election in 2018, there was a clash between two parties, two candidates. One guy lost his life, and now in this election, these two candidates are allies. They're friends now. They compromised, but that family lost a son. That family lost a future. Now, even yesterday, unfortunately, there was one guy who was killed.
Yes.
Now a family lost a future just for making somebody king. Now I want to tell the young people, these politicians, these people will come and go, but we are going to remain. The family is going to be there. The brotherhood is going to be there. And yes, go and cast your vote. Go and vote for the right person, but you don't need to go and kill somebody. You don't need to indulge yourself in violence. You know, it makes no sense. And lastly, I want to appeal to young people. We talk about change. We talk about, you know, we need development. But every time the election comes, you fall down in front of money, booze, you know. The moment you keep falling, we will not see change. And we're so happy that there are so many good candidates who are standing for clean election this time. And it's high time we come together, the young people, and then educate our parents if they're doing wrong also, you know.
Yes.
Because whatever we're doing today is for our future, for our children.
Absolutely.
So all the young people, please make sure you let your conscience, you know, let your conscience do the work, and let's come together and, you know, let's just vote.
Absolutely. Do you like to make a musical appeal before I let you go? Do you like to hum a few lines, not of your political songs, but your general song? Would you like to sing 2 lines?
Just like, stop the violence, just go and vote. Your vote makes your future. Yeah, thank you.
Stop the violence, just go vote. That is Alobo Naga's appeal to the youngsters in the state, and he thinks that youths can change Nagaland. Youths hold the key to change in Nagaland. Alobo Naga, thank you so much indeed for speaking to me on Notice Tonight.
Thank you so much.
Well, gentlemen, sorry to keep you waiting. That was a youth icon from Nagaland, Alobo Naga, making some very simple but very important points. He has appealed to the youth to just go and vote. He said that there is no point in violence. There is no point in killing each other. Just go and vote for the right candidate. Because Nagaland, all Nagaland needs is development. And Alobo has also said, gentlemen, that, you know, nobody takes the promises of the political leaders about a solution seriously. Let me go straight to you. Mr. Ndang, the General Secretary of the Naga Hoho. Welcome, all of you. Welcome to the show. Mr. Ndang, I want to be educated tonight. What are the main issues you think on which these elections are being fought? Okay, I think Elu is unable to hear me. We'll fix that audio with Elu. Same question goes to you, Mr. Therieh, the leader of the Naga Tribes Council. Theja, what are the main issues on which these elections you think are being fought this time in Nagaland? Theja.
To me, this time, I'm not interested in the electoral process. We know that electoral process is a constitutional process, and negotiation is a political process. But then there is a madness. There's no political party with a clear objective, principles, ideology. And people simply want to be in power, to enjoy the power. It's a fight for power. It's a fight for money. Candidates are going here and there simply organizing fund, money, because they feel that talking sense, talking issue, talking principles, ideology, and manifesto doesn't work. They have to work with huge money. And those who organize 20, 30 crore and fight for election, what do you expect from them? They will simply have to recover all those money. So it's a total madness. 80% of the candidates are simply fighting election to be in power, to enjoy the money sanctioned by the government of India.
Theja,
the central leaders,
Mr. Theja, are you being too cynical, or you are speaking from your heart?
Yeah.
Are you being too cynical, or do you think you are speaking from your heart?
I'm speaking from my heart, Wasbir. The central leaders, they say that they have sanctioned huge amount for Nagaland, for that matter for northeastern states. But I think these monies are just appeasement, because the money is not coming to the right people. It is not going to the project. It is going to the pockets of people with power.
Therefore,
people with arms.
Therefore, I'll go to other panelists. Theja, I'll have to go to other panelists. Therefore, are you saying that corruption is the topmost issue in these elections? Is corruption the top issue in these elections, Theja?
Yeah, when money is sanctioned, there has to be accountability. There has to be transparency. The implementation have to be properly monitored. But on the ground, things are not coming. Projects are not progressing. The money keeps coming. It is going to the wrong people. So simply people collect money and then they gamble during election.
Okay. So is Naga issue no longer, is Naga issue,
so this,
is Naga issue, Theja, is Naga issue no longer an election agenda this time?
Oh yes, many of them are talking about election, but it's just a rhetoric about solution. It's just a rhetoric. I find that central leaders also coming, they say that early solution, early solution. For the last 26 years, they have been talking about early solution.
Okay.
They are not adding a single word to early political solution.
Okay.
So I think there's lack of political will and seriousness on the part of the government of India.
Yes, Theja, hold on. I'll just go for a few seconds of break. Then I'll go to Mr. Yanpothung Ezung, assistant professor at Bailey Baptist College in Wokha. Just don't go away. I'll be right back after this very short commercial.
হাতেৰে মথি উলিওৱা ঘিৰ দৰে সুস্বাদু আৰু স্বাস্থ্যসন্মত পতঞ্জলি গাই গৰুৰ দেশী ঘি খাওক নিজৰ পৰিয়ালক ভেজালকৰণৰ বিহৰ পৰা ৰক্ষা কৰক
Canara Bank announces special deposit offer for 100 days at 7.75% per annum. Apply online or visit your nearest Canara Bank branch.
হাৰ্ট কোলেষ্ট্ৰল মেদবহুলতা আৰু মধুমেহ ৰোগীৰ বাবে সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ হৈছে পতঞ্জলি ফিজিক্যালি ৰিফাইন্ড ৰাইচ ব্ৰেন অইল আৰু কচ্চি ঘানি বিশুদ্ধ সৰিয়হ তেল
BJP promises to empower the farmers of Meghalaya by giving annual allowance of Rs 8,000 to farmers and Rs 3,000 to landless farmers per year. This 27th February, vote for a stronger BJP for a stronger Meghalaya.
Okay, welcome back. Ilu and Ndang, you can hear me now. My question is simple. Is Naga issue not an election agenda this time? It's a simple, clear-cut question. What do you think?
Wasbir, unlike other elections, this time around, I think none of the political parties have prioritized political issue in their manifestos. Though they have stated that they will pursue for an early political settlement, but not as vocal as in the past. They have the political parties in their manifestos. They have mentioned many things on the developmental aspects and the progress of the state. But one must remember that as long as the Naga political issue is kept pending, I think the general public, the people, are not going to reap the benefits of development. And that is where the biggest worry lies with the Naga people.
So Elu and Ndang, so the political parties very strategically and tactfully decided to give the Naga issue a miss this time. They are not top of their agenda. That is what you think?
Well, as some of the panelists have stated, I think they are a little bit, they wanted to be silent on the Naga political issue in public domain, but I believe as people's representative, they are very well aware that unless the political issue is addressed, the people are not going to receive any progress, neither development.
Right.
So I'm sure, I believe they will carry forward the Naga people's aspiration.
Okay. I'll once again come to you. Let me go to Wokha, where I have Mr. Yanpothung Ezung. He's assistant professor of sociology at the Bailey Baptist College. Mr. Ezung, you are an academic. How do you see the elections? What, according to you, are the main issues that bother the ordinary voter, the common man? What do you think the common man is worried about today in Nagaland?
Good evening and thanks for the time. As far as this, every time agenda of election, solution as an election as there, and people are really confused. But as an academician, I would just put it very straight. The people here are not looking for something very superficial. We're looking for something that is concrete, something that can be workable, something which common people can live life easily. You see, we are always looking for agendas that has to do with development, of human capacity building, of resource management, of social security, of economic security. And all of these things have been thoroughly missed by all the governments. It is not to say that the governments are not doing, but at the level of which expectancies are, I think the present government or whoever government comes into power, they need to care of more. They have to see to it that the aspirations, the common small aspirations has to be seen. At the same time, we also need to put more focus on the youth. We have to give them proper, so-called platforms where to really grow. We cannot only depend on the government jobs. We cannot only depend on something that is government.
That means, Mr. Ezung, what you are saying is that it is not enough to only blame the government. It is the civil society and the youths and the common man who also have to raise their voice for the right things.
Definitely, both sides needs to take a little share of what we are living through these times.
No,
we cannot always expect the government to do everything for us.
No, Mr. Ezung, do you also get a feeling? Do you also get a feeling from the election campaign that the Naga political issue is no longer high on the agenda of the political parties this time? Do you get that feeling?
If I have to speak out in mind,
yeah,
the issue of political solution is little lesser than that of the yesteryears. I don't mean to say that it is not important. I don't mean to say that it is not included, but at the level of what we have been experiencing these days, I think it has gone down. That's what I feel.
Right. I'll come back to all of you. Let me come to Professor Xavier Mao, a very well-known academic and commentator, professor at NEHU University, joining me in the studios. Professor Mao, what should be the agenda should have been the agenda of the political parties? Do you also say that they're talking about development this time because they have not succeeded in presenting a solution to the Naga issue? Is that the reason why the political parties are largely talking about development this time?
Yes, your perception and your understanding is very sound. I must congratulate you. People are fed up that there may not be a satisfactory political solution. Therefore, now the major shift is towards the development.
Right.
But even the development, as you have rightly said in the beginning, it's only lip service. The roads conditions are terribly bad. During the summer season, it is so muddy. During the winter season, it is so dusty. And even including National Highway, very, very bad. And electricity is very, very irregular. So how can we have even cottage industries, or for that matter, any kind of industries? And water supply is also not at all regular and only in some areas. So there is no proper government water supply. And then even the quality of education is also very poor. And then healthcare, Nagaland state is the only state which does not have a functioning medical college. Though on paper, they have completed the medical college, but it is not functioning. Utilization certificate has been provided, but it is not working. So this is how a few coteries of the ruling government.
Now, Professor, we have heard. I'll take this question to very important members of the civil society who are on this show tonight. Now, as Mr. Professor Ezung has said, that is it enough to blame only the government? Now, there is something called the civil society. There is the power of the common man, because at the end of the day, the government may have failed, but it's the people who are electing the government every time. Do the people also need to share the responsibility, or do you think that the primary responsibility, of course, is with the government?
No, absolutely, you are right. Even the people, the voters, are primarily irrational voters, not rational voters.
Can you generalize? Can you generalize? I don't think you can generalize.
I can generalize with few exceptions. I can generalize with certainty with few exceptions. The voters in general are irrational. They don't take any wise decision. They are bothered and concerned by the immediate gains of money from the different candidates. Unfortunately, to that level, the Naga public voters have descended, with very few exceptions. This is the case. This
No.
is serious degeneration which has taken place.
No. Let me take this. I'm coming to you, Mr. Ndang. Mr. Therieh, you have heard Professor Xavier Mao, very strong words. He's speaking from his mind out, as always. Now, the point is, I was asking this question, is it simply enough to say, oh, we have no roads, we have no nothing, we have no schools and higher educational institutions, we have no medical college, and the government has not, but we don't see a public voice. Who is voicing for this? Or do you think that everything you would like to put the blame on the Naga issue? You think, oh, Naga issue, once it is solved, only then things will happen. But don't you think that development and efforts to resolve the Naga issue should go parallelly? Is that the reason why Nagaland is backward today?
Yeah, there are two things. One is constitutional process, another one is political process. We want political process to conclude because we want armed conflict to be resolved. Here, Government of India keeps talking about peace and development. Peace, while talking about peace, they have parked the peace process on the roadside. While talking about development, they have stopped any accountability. No agencies coming in Nagaland are working. NIA is not working. The EDs are not working. Then, I don't know, anti-corruption agencies, nothing works in Nagaland. There's no transparency, no accountability. Now, political parties are not having a clear roadmap. They don't have clear principles, ideology. They have turned the people into just purchasable commodities, an object, but not a subject of concern. And that is the reason why the more they...
No, Theja, I'll come to you. Mr. Ndang, Mr. Theja has said that political parties, they have introduced the culture, they have made the voters a purchasable commodity. That is what Mr. Theja has said, we quote unquote, purchasable commodity. Can we generalize this? Can the people take responsibility for the development of the state or not? Are these election issues or not? At the end of the day, the the power to vote lies at every single voter.
Yeah, I think partly it has to be shared. The blame has to be shared with the voters. You see, if you see the current election process, we have been seeing for the last 2-3 elections. Money is what everyone wants it. They have forgotten the candidates who can lead the state forward. They only look at the candidates in terms of money, and this is where things are going wrong in the state. Another aspect is that why development is not taking place in Nagaland, we cannot totally blame with the Naga political groups. It is the politicians, the corruption that is destroying the state. And therefore, see, the youths, they are held jobless. Too many corruptions at every level. Now, the election is in the process, and if you look at the voters again, the common people are after money, and it has become a vicious cycle in the state. And we have to break this chain. Then only we can see the progress.
Okay. Break the chain. I'll have to go for another break, but Professor Ezung, as Alobo Naga said, we need a new set of young leaders to take over. We need a fresh blood to take over. Alobo has appealed to the older politicians to retire. These are strong words. They are not going to retire just because a very popular icon has asked them to retire. But are you in agreement with what Mr. Ndang has said? Are you in agreement that, this vicious cycle, the chain has to be broken?
Definitely somewhere this has to be broken. But it is not to say it again that all the old ones should make way. No.
Yeah.
There has to be somebody to take the chair, to take the lead as a guide. Also, it has to be seen to it that the young guns are given more preferences. The young ones knows what the youth needs. We are more in touch with our own problems. We know our own solutions. The old age, they have lived situations, years, decades of their own experiences with different situations. They have had experience, they have an experience, but having an experience does not mean that we have to always give them chances to occupy chairs of authority. It has to be seen to it that new ones should come and replace them, but without limiting without
Ezung,
the efficiency of
Ezung, Professor Ezung, you are saying that there has to be a good mix. There has to be a good balance of people with experience and young people with vision and eagerness to work for the rights of benefits of the people. I'll go for another very, very short break, gentlemen. Don't go away, viewers. I'll be right back.
মঠি উলিওৱা ঘিৰ দৰে সুস্বাদু আৰু স্বাস্থ্যসন্মত পতঞ্জলি গাই গৰুৰ দেশী ঘি খাওক নিজৰ পৰিয়ালক ভেজালকৰণৰ বিহৰ পৰা ৰক্ষা কৰক
সকলো মাৰি কৰিলো মঞ্চ কিন্তু নাপালো পাৰফেক্ট ক্ৰাঞ্চ
Perfect crunch. ই হল নতুন সানফিষ্ট মাৰি লাইট নতুন মসমসিয়া সানফিষ্ট মাৰি লাইটত আছে বাছনি কৰা ইনগ্ৰেডিয়েন্টস তেন্তে আপুনি বাৰু পালেনে আপোনাৰ পাৰফেক্ট ক্ৰাঞ্চ
হাৰ্ট কোলেষ্ট্ৰল মেদবহুলতা আৰু মধুমেহ ৰোগীৰ বাবে সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ হৈছে পতঞ্জলি ফিজিক্যালি ৰিফাইন্ড ৰাইচ ব্ৰেন অইল আৰু কচ্চি ঘানি বিশুদ্ধ সৰিয়হ তেল
BJP promises to fast-track Meghalaya's development by upgrading and modernizing all roads and allocating funds of Rs 2,200 crore to transform Meghalaya's villages. This 27th February, vote for a stronger BJP for a stronger Meghalaya.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
Okay, welcome back to the show. We are in a very engaging discussion. Professor Mao, now, you see, in all the subsequent elections, all the political elections were fought almost on one issue, that is a solution to the Naga political issue. Now, the shadow of insurgency would always loom large. But now the discussions are going on. Now that the NSCNIM is holding talks, the NNPGs are holding talks, there has been a dialogue between the NSCNIM and the NNPGs. Now, everybody thought that a solution is going to come, but the solution has not come yet. Now, therefore, all the political parties, they became part of the same government. It was called a partyless government, something unprecedented in the country, a partyless government. That has also not succeeded in bringing about a solution. Now, do you think this in this election, all the three major parties who are part of the partyless government, now they are fighting. Two of them have joined together, NNDP and BJP, they are fighting together on a seat sharing basis, and NPF is fighting, but they are only fighting half of the seats almost. Now, is there a confusion among the voters? What is going on? For 1.5 years, you are partyless, now you are fighting against each other. What is going on? Do you think the people are really confused to some extent?
Yes, the people are also very much confused, and their primary concern is only to get money, not so much for development or not so much for even Naga political solution. And most people are now aware that serious Naga political issue will not come, knowing the positions of both the parties, that they cannot come to the middle ground. Therefore, people have somehow lost interest in that. Therefore, now the issue is centering on the development, but even for the development, as you have rightly pointed out, the civil societies and the intellectuals are also not playing their role, unfortunately. So everybody has become so lack and so indifferent that it is a kind of just let go as you like. It has reached that situation.
No. I'm coming to you, Professor Ezung. Let me go to you, Ndang. Ndang, you know, there was a letter circulating that NSCNIM has issued a diktat. A local regional commander in the Ao region issued a diktat to the voters in Along Taki constituency not to vote against the BJP candidate Temjen Imina Along, who happens to be the state BJP president and a minister. Now, you know, our channel Northeast Live contacted the NSCNI and they said no, there is no central committee has not issued anything. We are investigating the matter. Now there is a protest. There is a protest in Along Taki constituency where people are coming out on the streets, peaceful protest. What's going on? And there were attack on the Tongpang Ojukum, the NNDP candidate. There are also attacks on supporters. One person has already died. Now, when we are negotiating for a peaceful settlement of a big issue like the Naga political issue, why are people indulging in political violence?
Well, the first incident that you have mentioned in Along's constituency, I think they deserve condemnation, if at all it is done by the NSCNIM government. This is democracy. Everybody is free to exercise his franchise. Issuing dictate, I think at this moment it is not acceptable to the people. They may have differences.
Yes.
But I think it doesn't warrant for such kind of letter or threat issued to the village councils. This, we cannot accept that. We condemn that. And the incidents, the murder cases, the firing incidents, I think this is totally out of the way. And any civilized society cannot accept this. We cannot behave like a barbarian acting like nomads. That is not acceptable. Every right-thinking citizen must condemn that kind of act. We must ensure peaceful election. And
Absolutely.
This election, as stated by all the political parties, it's for development and progress. And if we have to progress together, I think we also must ensure peace in our areas, in our constituencies. We cannot encourage such kind of barbaric acts. And thirdly, when we talk about Naga political issue and why it is dragging on, I think we must place on record that government of India is no longer interested in settlement of Naga political issue. It is we are convinced that government of India is only trying to manage the Naga political issue rather than solving it. And therefore, any successive government, day by day, we are losing hope.
Absolutely.
Political settlement.
Absolutely. As always, I mean, Theja, what do you say to this this violence that is going around? Stray incidents of violence. One person has died. Several firing incidents. Attack on Tongpang Ojukum. Some other supporters, and the threat letter alleged